Hello, this is Charles with Evershade Gaming, and I'm bringing another 9th Age battle report. Got a couple games in on Saturday, and I'm happy to be making some reports. I'm just going to put the list in the description and just kind of go right into deployment. This is starting with deployment. So, we are playing blind deployment. One of the cool things about bucket battles is they always do blind deployment, and this time we actually used a map pack. So the train's going to be a lot more even, more better distributed, and we both were able to look at the train, and then my opponent picked table sides, which is nice because that means I get the +1 to see who goes first, or who goes second in this case. So starting with my deployment, I have my smallest unit of crossbowmen on my left, and then my Griffin Marshal with a 2-up 4 regen. He's got the Death Cheater. Then I've got my big unit, or one of my big units of light infantry, 20 crossbowmen behind that wall, and my wizard's in there as well. He's a wizard with Divination. Next, I've got my Marshal on the biggest Griffin I have. He's my general. He's got the 2-up, 5-up Aegis, 3-up Aegis against Flaming, and just Lance. And then on the hill right there are 25 Flagellants. And I have a prelate in there with a 1-up armor save. Next to them are my 2 units of heavy infantry with just shields. I actually have to say I really love just heavy infantry. They are probably like little things of 20. Probably the best scoring units in Empire right now. Next to my heavy infantry is my only cannon. My only war machine in this army too, which is interesting. Then I have 20 light infantry with handguns. They're next to that wall, obviously not really benefiting from it, but that's a weird wall. I mean, it's vertical in a deployment, near a deployment zone. It doesn't matter though. I've got my other Griffin Marshal, 3 Griffin boys. Oh, so spicy. And next to them is my steam tank, or next to him is my steam tank, and then kind of in the corner are my Knights of Sun Griffin. Again, it's blind deployment, so I didn't really know what he was going to put on that side. I didn't want to put him up too close so that I couldn't move back. I didn't want to... I guess I was kind of thinking maybe I put them in a way where, ambushing is not as good. Yeah, so they're just back towards that side of the board. And then this is what my opponent's deployment looks like. I thought it'd be fun to kind of capture each other's deployment and then get a big reveal. So in the water, he's got his 3 raiding chariots. The next to them is a Razor Tusk. Next to the Razor Tusk in the water is his BSB, the big red banner. And then his general is next to his BSB, also on a Razor Tusk, or general's on a Razor Tusk chariot. The BSB is just on a raiding chariot. One of his 2 Gortoks. And then, yeah, just mongrels between the Gortoks, one of his scoring units. I noticed he really didn't have that many scoring units in his army. I guess he has 4, but when you don't have the ambushers come on, it's a little deceiving. And then 6 Minotaurs, and then behind everything is his mongrel raiders with his wizard. Here we are. This is the big reveal. That's how we are lined up. That's interesting. Blind deployment's always kind of fun. He went very central with his army. I feel like with Empire, you want to stretch out because you have so many units. I mean, he's got only what? Man, he really doesn't have that many units. He's got 2 monsters, 2 characters and chariots, 3 chariots and minotaurs. But yeah, that impassable train right in the middle is those 2 kind of oil fields. Those are going to be trouble for both of us during this battle. These are the spells I took. I took Stars Aligned and Fate's Judgment from Divination, and then with my magical Heirloom, I took Altered Sight. And then my opponent, he is a master with Shamanism. He took Break Spirit, Titanic Summon, Chilling Hall, and Awakened Beast. I like how Break the Spirit is now the 6th spell from Shamanism. It is just like, yes, this is the best spell in the whole lore. Alright, Beast Herd's turn 1. I believe I won the roll-off to who decides who to go first, and I let my opponent go first because... one, my shooting units were really far back, so if I went first, I wouldn't be able to shoot anything. And 2, with the Dark Rain, you almost always better to go second on turn 1, so that you only suffer -1 with your shooting. So, yep, I let him go first. And yeah, he moves his Gortoks up. pretty aggressively, I would say. I mean, I have a couple counter charges with Griffins, but a Griffon on a Gortok, that's a pretty scary fight, actually, because if I can't make any Aegis saves, those things could actually tear through them. He gets the Clouded Eye Totem on his BSB. I just let this one go. I wasn't too worried about it. He gets Chilling Howl on my Light Infantry. I tried to stop Chilling Howl, or I wanted to, but I think I had to stop his Totemic Summon because those things are just those things get on your backfield turn 1. It can just be really annoying. Empire Sonstal turn 1. This was pretty crazy. I needed 11 on the dice for my Flagellants to make it into his Gortok, and I was on the hill, so I'm thinking, you know, I got to reroll. I just rolled a straight up 11 the first time. Or I think I needed a 10. I think it was a 14-inch charge with the Flagellants. And I made it in turn 1, which was really exciting because that's a great place for the Flagellants to be. You know, it's right up in his field. It's going to make it harder for him to move stuff around. It's really going to clog him up for a good portion. Put Radiant Fire on my Light Infantry with crossbows and on my Light Infantry with handguns. And then I put on the double on my, I want to say Imperial Guard because those guys are normally my Imperial Guard, but my Heavy Infantry. And I think it actually worked out to my advantage incredibly. So this is what movement looks like for Emperor Sonstal turn 1. One of my Griffin characters is up on his flank, and the chariots cannot see him. I moved the small unit of crossbows up because they were just so far away. The big unit of 20 crossbows actually has range on the chariots, so they're just going to fire there. And then I believe the handgunners were going to fire at the mongrels. Yeah, because the Gortoks, you know, not going to really do any damage to them. The 2 cannons are going to try and shoot the Gortok on the right. And then I turned to my other unit of heavy infantry to start thinking about ambushers, possibly. So, and that's also why one of my Griffins is kind of far back, possibly in case the Gortok makes a really long charge, and also possibly to stop any ambushers. So, magic, I get a Flux card 2, and I'm able to get Altered Sight off on my light infantry, which is great. Now they're hitting on 3s. I'm not able to get any other spells off, and I'm able to do, I think, 4 or 5 wounds to the chariots, which is nice. So I kill 1. I think I did 5 wounds, and I killed 1, and 1 hit 1 wound on it. So pretty good start. And then both my cannons missed turn 1. Actually, I think my main cannon misfired, and I think my cannon misfired and lost some of my steam tank. I think just missed. Whatever happens. Go into combat, and I want to say this is I don't want to say this is with me swinging. I want to say, actually, no, that's actually after combat and after I reformed. So the Flagellants go in and they do 4 wounds to the Gortok, which is awesome. And I don't remember if he rolled a 6, so it doesn't matter because obviously he didn't lost any wounds yet. And then I reformed after combat and kind of moved in a little bit. I think I'm 8 wide right now. I was 9 because I have like 25, so it actually works to go like 999. It's a German joke, I guess. And then I wanted to move my prelate out of the way in case any of those characters go into those chariots. But at this point, really happy with what the Flagellants are doing. If they kill that Gortok, to me they've already won their points back, and just holding up the whole central part of his field is amazing. 2, he gets both of his ambushers on, which is bad news for me. And he doesn't even have the reroll or anything. He just rolled both 3-ups, which is great. So he comes on to threaten my left flank. With the light infantry, there's a decent amount of points tied up here. It's actually a great area for these guys to pop in and just do some damage. So plus of my, I only got 1 wizard and he's over there too. He charges his Razor Tusk into my heavy infantry, which is actually completely okay with that. Yeah. And then he puts one of his Gortoks in my steam tank, which is a little scary. I was, I don't know if I wasn't thinking he was going to do this. I think I was hoping that even if he did this, that by the time he got in there, I would have been able to put like 3, maybe 4 wounds on the Gortok, And I guess the average would be, if I hit and wounded with both cannons, would have been 5. You know, if he went in there, that I would have had some wounds on him, and then, you know, even if he got some lethal strikes through, I might be able to outgrind him. That's a full strength Warthog going into a steam tank, so it's a tough fight. We'll see if the steam tank can survive. So he also charges his 2 chariots into the flank of the flagellants, which is a great move. I mean, he needs those, you know, models. He needs that unit out of his side of the field as soon as possible. In the shooting phase, all the throwing weapons do quite a bit of hurt. I lose 9 light infantry. They don't flee, which is great, because that's one of the crazy things about our army, about this army in particular, is it does not have a DSB. So I've got to be very careful where I put my divination attribute, and possibly even, you know, where I use my orders to put those minimize rolls. Because yeah, one panic test could be very bad for my army. One failed panic test at the very least. In combat, the pig goes in, does 3 wounds. I don't do any wounds. They hold. And then in combat with the Warthog, we both do 2 wounds to each other, and thankfully he did not roll a lethal strike, which is very good. So 2 wounds to 2 wounds. Unfortunately, it's just outside of this picture, but the Knights of Sun Griffin are chaffed right now by a razor test, so they're going to have to kill that, and my other Griffin character is facing the wrong way, so I actually need the steam tank to last another round. So, and then this is after combat with the Flagellants and the other Warthog, so he even got, I want to say, Break the Spirit off on my Flagellants this turn. And even with that, even hitting on like, or no, he actually got +1 toughness. That's what it was. Yeah, I was wounding on 5s. So I was hitting on 4s, wounding on 5s, or 6s. And I was just able to squeak, I think 3 more wounds on him, because I want to say he got a lethal strike, put a wound back on himself, and I got pretty lucky, I would say, honestly. My opponent would say very lucky, and I was able to just put 3 wounds back on the Warthog and put him back in the mud. Put him down. And then I also did 1 wound on the side. Not a big deal. It's just kind of good that these chariots are tied up. Yeah, I just love Flagellants. They're just like, all right, you killed a bunch, but, you know, they're not going anywhere. Empire Sunslow, turn 2. I charged the piggy. Gonna have ourselves a barbecue. And then I thought this was quite interesting. I put on the double on my light infantry. With the crossbows, the bigger unit, and I put ready aim fire on my light infantry with handguns. Charge one of my Griffin generals or one of my Griffin Marshals into the rear of the chariots. He's not going to be the greatest position even if he kills them, because he's got those 2 chariot characters nearby. But sometimes you just got to grab points where you can get them, and you know, you never know how it's going to go with characters fighting characters. And then this is kind of what my right side of the board looks like. I moved my my light infantry. The handguns are just going to shoot the mongrels. My cannon, I think it's going to try and pick on his characters at this point. And then, yeah, I'm trying to deal with this one Warthog. He's giving me a lot of trouble. The Minotaurs are coming around the dangerous terrain, but they are really far away. So, and, you know, if the Knights of Sun Griffin go in there with my Marshal, one of my Marshal on a Griffin, I think we have a really good chance against them, but it all depends if we can deal with this Warthog over here. And this is what my left flank looks like. So I used on the double to really push up the light infantry, just moved them 12 inches up. And I reformed the smaller unit of light infantry so that one of the units of Wildhorns cannot see them. The one that's, you know, technically, I guess, closest to them right now. And then the other one past the wall is still a lot of, they're like, I think 10 inches away or something like that. So not an automatic charge, but I also can stay and shoot. So who knows? And then I also moved my wizard into one of my units of heavy infantry so that he doesn't, you know, now he's pretty safe over there now. And I turned my general on his Griffin to kind of face these guys. But the best part, I love this guy because, you know, he can do an order within 18 inches now. So he's still got like 3 units he can throw an order on. He's still providing his leadership to a whole bunch of people. It's great. I throw Fate's Judgment out on the Wild Horns. I think I'd kill 2. You never know. If you roll a 6, it could have caused a panic check, but just killed 2, so he's fine. I got a Flux card 7, so I actually had a lot of dice, but unfortunately I don't really have that many spells I can throw. I get Altered Sight off on the light infantry, which is good, so maybe I might be able to kill a bunch of mongrels, maybe cause panics there. Which they do kill a bunch of mongrels. I want to say they kill like 6 or something like that, but he passes his panic, so which is fine. I mean, he's got his 2 characters there. If they failed 2 like leadership discipline 9 tests, that would have been pretty poor. And then man, this Gortok. This is where my opponent was like, I hate Gortoks. I cannot stand them. Especially coming from 1.3 when I think they were like the kings of the book at that part. He just could not roll a lethal strike, which is so sad because a lethal strike against a steam tank is so good. Get rid of, go through that armor save, do D3 wounds. Just couldn't roll it. He does. I think he just does 1 wound right here. Yeah, I had 5 wounds, or I had 5 wounds left. So he does 1 wound to me. I do 3 to him. I must have got a big grind. He sticks around in combat, but yeah, it's looking dire for our Gortok at this point. Especially because I needed to hold him on my turn, so that even if he does kill my steam tank, my Griffin character, or actually, my Knights of Sun Griffin killed the pig, and I didn't even turn them to face the Gortok because I figured I think I did the steam tank combat first, and then I went to the piggy combat. So if I knew if the steam tank got killed, I could have turned. But like when I saw the steam tank was still there, still had 4 wounds, I'm like, we'll just keep the Griffin character. He should be able to go in and do 1 or 2 wounds and kill a Gortok. Yep, here's a piggy. Dead. And the chariots are dead too. So this is what I'm talking about. Actually my Griffin character, I think we just killed him to a man. I think he just went in and did 5 wounds or something like that. He did all the wounds remaining to them. So that was great. Didn't even have to pursue anywhere. I guess it would have been nice to pursue. Yeah, because I might have been able to maybe get out of this charge arc. But, I mean, he got points. And he's honestly, against a lot of his stuff, he's the most survivable because he's got a 2 of 4 regen. So he's pretty tough not to crack, too. And this is the start of Beast Herde's turn 3. So he charges his Wild Horns at my light infantry, and I just flee with them. I flee really far. I roll 10 inches. So the nice part is they're perfectly hidden behind my Griffin character, so that even if he can't even charge them with his characters now. So they're actually quite safe for a turn or 2, hopefully. And then he passes his leadership to redirect, and I stand and shoot with my light infantry. And I do like 4 or 3 wounds. I rolled really well, cause a panic test, but he passes it. But then he fails the charge. So, wow. Poor Wild Horns, because they're doomed now. And then he charges his BSB into the Flagellants. He's hoping to just kind of get rid of them. And he charges his General into my Marshal, one of my Griffin Marshals. So we'll see who can kill who in that combat. He gets Break the Spirit off, which was tough. I was, he has a lot of bounce spells too that he could have put on his Lord, and they're all really good. Like I had to stop the 1-up armor, one that gives him +1 to his armor. I had to stop the one that gives him +1 attack and +1 AP, or maybe +2 AP. That one's really good. Obviously, that one would have been really scary. So I figured Break the Spirit on myself is probably not too bad, because I'm only hitting on 4s, so going to 5s is like whatever. The steam tank kills the Gortok, only suffers 1 more wound, and again, he didn't roll any lethal strikes. Man, at that point, I just felt bad for my opponent because that's really unlucky, because he was hitting 5 or 6 times every time. That's like man, I would like to see what the odds are, but they're probably extremely high for him to have passed, or him rolled at least 1 lethal strike. So dead Gortok over here, which is great because I've pretty much won the right flank at this point. I sacrificed my champion against the BSB, just to eat up the impact hits. He might do a wound to him, actually, because obviously he still gets to strike even with the impact hits. And then in the picky combat, I bring it down to 1 wound. It's been kind of killing dudes left and right, and they've just been standing there. I've got my leadership 9, so just very lucky to have not broken. The couple times we've tied, like I think this time we tied, or there might have been one time I won actually. Between like my ranks and stuff like that. So it's been a slog with the pig though. I want to say this is in my turn. I casted I want to say I threw Fate's Judgment at this unit at one point. Killed like 2 or 3 more guys. Again, trying to get like the 6 and cause a pan test. Whatever. And then this is making the Stars Align off on the Flagellants. And this is, again, this combat. Didn't break here. I ended up holding his general up for 3 turns. 3 turns of combat where we basically, we both have, 2 up, 4 up. And we were doing wounds to each other and making all our saves. All our saves. My point was, he's got more attacks because he's got like impact hits. Like when he came in with impact hits with strength 6 big attacks, and he didn't do a single wound to me. It was crazy. I rolled so well with my saves. This is the pig combat again. This was really important because this was on my turn, and I've got like my Griffin general right here, and I was really worried that I would kill the pig. And then he'd be able to bring his mongrels in, and at this point the mongrels would probably just beat my heavy infantry because they had just with their hatred and their spears. But the pig, I couldn't do 1 more wound to the pig. I just rolled all my attacks, and again I couldn't kill the pig, which was amazing on this turn. This is I think this is Empire turn 4. I might have missed some Beast turn 4 pictures. And the pig lives, and the pig is helping me out big time now. Yep, so this is, I want to say, is the start of Beast Herd's turn 5. And it's just a good overview. At this point, I pushed off all his ambushers with my Griffin General. I think he terrored one off and panicked the other one off. And then I was still in combat with his Lord up there. That's been 2 rounds of combat at this point. He's moved his Minotaurs away from my Knights of Sun Griffin. I think he's just worried he's not going to be able to win that combat, that's a toss-up. I think it's in my favor. Charging in, especially when I have that other Griffin character over there. I have that one character in the middle now who can kind of threaten his backfield even. So yeah, things were looking very good for me at this point. He puts Break the Spirit on my Knights of Sun Griffin, which stinks, but I'll let that go through. And then his BSB is able to kill the rest of my Flagellants, and I believe he made my Prelate flee, and I chased down my Prelate, which is okay. Beast Herd's turn 5. His general was, or it might have been on my EOS turn actually. His general was able to do 1 wound to me. Finally got a wound through, and I failed my discipline test. I think I rolled a 9. He rolled that 8, and I failed. And he was able to catch me. And he actually ran into the light infantry, I think, on my turn. So I think it was his turn 4 or something like that. So this is on his turn 5, basically. I believe he attempted to make a charge, and he failed it. But he's gotten the Griffin, so he's doing okay. And then this is the start of EOS turn 5. So I decided I didn't want to charge BSB because I figured he was just going to flee. And there's some distance between my Griffin and... actually, I don't think my Griffin was facing him, so I couldn't even charge with him. So I actually just moved one of my heavy infantry, kind of park him right in front so he can't go anywhere. And I've got a champion in there, so if he charges, I can just sacrifice the champion. I have my light infantry turn to shoot. I'm still contesting the scoring. Actually, no, I'm actually going to be winning the scoring now because my light infantry is just within 6 inches. And I tried to charge my Griffin with the red cape into, I believe, his back bunker with his Wizard. I actually was hoping to maybe just tear them off the board because they weren't near the BSB, but he passed his leadership test, and I failed my charge. So I'm right in front of the Mongrels, which is fine because I'm winning scoring, and he's gonna have to kind of just maneuver things out of the way if he wants to get anything else closer. So it's a good place for me to be. He gets Break the Spirit off on this Griffin. And then this is what the start of Beast Herds... or actually, this is what the start of... yeah, actually, sorry, this is Empire turn 5. I take back what I said. This is turn 5, because I'll have one more turn after this. So on his turn, this is where he failed a charge, I believe, into the light infantry, or one of my heavy infantry units. He attempted to charge them, and he failed. So what I ended up doing was I charged the Griffin with the red cape at his Mongrels, and he fled that. And then I opted to redirect, and I could have chose something else, but I ended up just pursuing them down to get their points and remove them from the game. And then I used my other Griffin to make his BSB flee, and he fled far. And then at that point, I attempted to catch him, but I couldn't. It was probably like a 19 or something like that. But then I was able to move my heavy infantry in front of them, so I don't have to worry about a chariot charging him the last turn. And I was able to do that because I put on double with them. And then I put ready aim fire on my other unit of light infantry. I don't know why. I think I had some ideas to shoot the BSB with them, but then I changed my mind. But they're still getting me. They're helping with the scoring in the middle, so they're doing good. Yeah. And then I turned my flash on for some reason, and I was able to get the steam tank into combat too. The steam tank's been a champ. I love my steam tank. It does so good every game. And that bad boy's metal. I somewhat attribute its success to it being an old pewter steam tank. This guy has killed a Gortok, and he's made his way into Minotaurs. Like, go steam tank. That's a picture of kind of where the Griffin character is. I decided I probably should have turned my angle a little bit more to make it harder for the Mongrels and Shaman to stay on. I guess I just wanted to be able to see his BSB still. I probably could have changed that angle to be a little bit better, because I was able to, change my position after I caught down the Mongrels. And this is just showing how close we are here, but got the heavy infantry in place. Again, not too worried if its general charges in, because I'll just sacrifice champion. I put Stars Align on my cannon to try and shoot his BSB, and I end up misfiring and can't shoot the rest of the... Or I think it rolls another misfire and it can't shoot for a turn, so it's not going to shoot the rest. I guess I knew I couldn't get the reroll, but I was just trying to get the divine attacks, I guess. But I was punished for that. The Minotaurs only do 1 wound to the steam tank in combat. It's able to kill a Minotaur with its impact hits, so it's pretty successful. And this is what Beast Herds turn 6 is. Not too much happens, really. He gets a couple spells off. He puts Break the Spirit on one of my Griffins again. And I think I suffered 1 dangerous train when I caught down that unit of Mongrels. And then I think he tried to buff. I had to stop the buffs against the steam tank. Like I think he just has the distracting armor save one. So actually, yeah, he probably couldn't even. He might have been able to do like the +1 attack and arm piercing from his BSB though. Who rallied? And then his general tried to charge my heavy infantry, and I just fled that. And then he failed getting into the steam tank. So I got lucky there. Emperor Sonstal, turn 6. So the last turn of the game. I charge his general in the flank with my heavy infantry, and then charge him in the front with my Griffin. I figured I'm going to go in there and try and just... I'm going to challenge him with my Lord, but see what... it's good work. It's probably me mostly a pillow fight again. We both have good saves, and then I'm going to try and break him in combat rest. I charge his BSV with my other Griffin, and then it's not a very long charge. He doesn't flee that far, but I just failed that charge. And he gets all his points. He's only got 2 wounds on him. So, and then the Knights of Sun Griffin needed a 12 on the dice to get into the Mongrels, and they failed that. That would have been so stupid, but amazing, but so stupid. The light infantry are able to rally because we put a little steady man on them, which is pretty sweet. And And then we get the 3 Flux card, which is don't really have too much magic to do. I am able to get Altered Sight and the Stars Align off. Or I think I tried to get the Stars Align off, but I was able to get Altered Sight off, which is just helpful. And then combat. So no real shooting to speak of. I believe we both do a wound to each other. And then just, through the combat res, I've got a charge, a flank, a rank of the flank, and 2 ranks from that unit. Just with the sheer combat res. I broke him, and I pursued him down. And then I felt really good because it's kind of funny. It's not my Beast Lord friend's, or Beast Herd's friend, normal general. He's normally got that really cool guy with that big great axe. This is some, old Peter Mordheim Pestigore champion or something like that. And I remember seeing at the beginning of the game, who is this imposer? And he's like, oh, I just haven't unpacked my other guy. And I'm like, well, good luck. And this is what I think he got. He's dead now. And then we go into the final round of Minotaur combat. Man, they were probably, I would say the Minotaurs were doing 3 or 4 wounds every time. And I was just making great saves. And they are not able to kill at the end. I killed 2 more Minotaurs. I had a big round of grinds. He breaks and he flees, which is great because I don't think I get full points. I probably needed to kill 1 more, but I get half points, which is really good. And that's the end of the game. So a couple things got moved before we were able to, but yeah, I still have 2 of my Griffin characters, and they're not giving any points away. I have both my heavy infantry. I have both units of light infantry. One's just hiding in the corner. My steam tank's holding on to 1 wound. He's got his wizard bunker and his wizard master and his BSBs keeping on his points, and the Minotaurs. There are 2 Minotaurs left, but yeah, great game. Ends up being a 20-0 for the Empire. Yeah, I was able to hold the center for 2 rounds while the Beast Herds didn't actually get any counters because, we just ended up being, that pig tied us up in the best way possible for me and held up him, and, his Minotaurs kind of kept changing their mind, and yeah, he just didn't get any counters, won the objective, got a nice 20-0 win. So this was the first game I was going to play Saturday. I'm going to put the next battle report up together soon, and you'll see how I do against some highborn elves with my triple Griffin list. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is Charles with Evershed Gaming. See you soon.